What's up, guys? Corntrix02 here with another top whatever video. I'm not sure what I'm calling this series, but it's basically a top 10 of a subject. And this is a subject that I always think about when I watch wrestling. There's always that guy or those wrestlers who just don't live up to their potential fully in the WWE. That WWE just not they're talented, they're great talents, but WWE just will not refuse to really push them to the top, even though they really should be there. I'm talking about guys like Dolph Ziggler, guys like Christian, Antonio Cesaro, guys like that, who are currently in the WWE. You think about these guys, you say, man, they really should be, you know, at the top. And then once they're gone, once their WWE career is over, you would think back and like, man, that Dolph Ziggler, that Antonio Cesaro, man, they were so great. They were such great wrestlers that they should have had that opportunity to be at the top. Really, I know that Dolph Ziggler's been a world champion and stuff, but I mean literally being at the top for a while. I'm not saying to the extent of a John Cena or Randy Orton, but just getting the opportunity to be the top guy. Something that Daniel Bryan's getting right now. I feel like more people should get that. And you just think about these guys, and that they just couldn't live up to what they should have lived up to. And this is what this list is about. It's about guys, well, majority of the list, sub one, is about guys who have left the WWE. Their careers are over, and now you can reminisce and think, man, these guys, they had the talent to be the number one guy, or not the number one guy, but a main event talent in the WWE at one point or the other. And it's certain things, either personal things with them, or drug violations, or just the WWE not pushing them to their full extent, that kept them at the mid card level instead of elevating to that top level. This is what this list is about. So let's go. Anyway, that's number 10 on my list. Is none other than the man who just recently returned to WWE. So let me say, there's two current guys on this list. Everybody else is gone. This is the one of the two current guys, and that is the bizarre one, Goldust. Now, Goldust is great. He in his prime, he was great, but man, now that he's back, oh my God, Goldust is amazing. We're not talking about him being back. That's a whole different story. This is about Goldust at his prime, when he, was back in the day in the 90s, even the 2000s. I believe that Goldust not necessarily could have been a world champion, but got a main event push. I think Goldust could have did it. Goldust is a character like no other. I've never seen anybody like Goldust. He's weird. He gets you, makes you feel, weird when you're around him. I think that's a great character. And Goldust is definitely going to be one of those memorable characters, when it's all said and done, which he already is. But I really think that Goldust could have had especially in the 90s, could have had a opportunity at the World Championship at one point or the other. But, it just didn't happen. Anyway, number 2. Well, I should say not number 2. Number 8. Number 9. Wow. Number 9. British Bulldog. Davey Boy Smith. What a guy. What a talent. Strong, muscular, everything that WWE's looking for, man. If there was any person from the UK that should have been a world champion, it should have been the British Bulldog. The British Bulldog is just a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler. He looks like a big muscular guy that they're looking for to carry a show. Hell, the guy even, I can't even think of anybody else who's done this, that he main evented SummerSlam with Bret Hart, and it wasn't even for the WWE Championship. It was for the Intercontinental Championship main event at a pay-per-view. And that was one of British Bulldog's most shining moments right there. And that should have led to him eventually winning the World Championship. I mean, British Bulldog, it seemed like every time for British Bulldog throughout his career, it looks like he was going to get pushed to the main event, but then something happened. I don't know. Like, it was one point at one of the Royal Rumbles that Shawn Michaels won. Can't remember which one it was, but British Bulldog was like, he beat Shawn Michaels and won the Royal Rumble, but then Shawn actually won. So I don't know, man. I'm not sure what it was about British Bulldog, but the WWE just didn't, want to really get behind him and being the top guy. But he really could have been that first big, British uh, WWE champion. I really think he could have. Number 8 on my list, none other than the masterpiece, Chris Masters. In 2005, I'm not talking about his most recent run, but in 2005, Chris Masters looked like he was about to get pushed to the moon. I mean, this guy had the master lock. Nobody could break out of it. Top talents couldn't break out of it. For a year or so, nobody broke out of the master lock. He even had a main event matches. This guy actually did have main event matches for a WWE Championship against John Cena and Kurt Angle on the what is it? It was a submission match, I believe. But then it seems like right after that they just blew him off. He tagged up with Carlito, and then after that, that was about it. He got released, I think, due to some violations, and then he came back as a better wrestler, but they just weren't behind him like they were back in 2005 when he was that jack, big old muscular guy. But Chris Masters definitely could have been something more than what he ended up being. I don't think Chris Masters won a championship throughout his entire career at WWE. I don't think, quote me on that. I may be wrong about that, but I can't really think of a run with a championship that he had. But he definitely could have been a main event talent and could have possibly been a future WWE champion. But one thing led to another, and it just didn't happen. Next on my list, number 7, John Morrison. John Morrison, probably one of the most entertaining superstars over the last 10 years. This guy can do some crazy stuff, got that parkour and all that crazy stuff. And the thing is, John Morrison had an awesome career. An awesome career that I believe should have ended in a WWE championship win. I mean, he won the tag titles with Eminem. Amazing matches with the likes of Rey Mysterio and Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. John Morrison done a lot. He did a lot. ECW Championship. He became the ECW champion. Fighting CM Punk. A lot of great stuff. Even big matches with a guy that they were pushing at that time to the top, who eventually became a world champion, in Sheamus. That made him look like he was gonna, finally get that rub to become a WWE champion, get that WWE championship push, but it just never happened for some reason. I don't know. I mean, John Morrison is, I think, everything that they look for, but I think, well, not WWE, but the fans look for as far as, entertaining. He had entertainment written all over him, but the WWE just wouldn't get behind him for some reason, just because I guess his mic skills weren't as great. But then you can look at guys like Chris Benoit, who ended up becoming a world heavyweight champion either way, even though his mic skills weren't that great. But I don't know. John Morrison should have definitely became at least a world heavyweight champion, in my opinion, at some point in his career, but it just didn't happen. I don't know. But John Morrison's career, he's still young. He can still come back, and possibly WWE can get behind him then. I don't know. Next on my list, William Regal. Sir William Regal. A man that I really can't even fault WWE for this one, because I feel like William Regal screwed himself. William Regal in 2008 was the thing. He was what was going on Raw. He was the hot topic on Raw. He what did he do? He won the King of the Ring. He became Raw GM, and basically he was like the king on Raw. He was unstoppable at one point. But then I guess one thing led to another again, where he got I think with a drug violation, and then after that, that was basically the end for William Regal. William Regal came back and competed on ECW, which I thought he would at least become the ECW champion, but that didn't happen. And then after that, now he's just that guy on NXT commentating. He doesn't really wrestle anymore. Like, we barely get to see him ever on Raw, unless it's like a UK tour or something like that. But William Regal is such a great wrestler. I mean, a veteran in the game. Guy's been wrestling for years all around the world. different promotions, WCW, WWE, Japan, you name it. He's been there and done it. That's all William Regal knew. That's all he knows is wrestling. And I believe that he was going to get the opportunity to become a world champion at one point, but you know, he screwed up, and now his career. I think they think he's too old now, so they're not gonna push an old guy like William Regal anymore. So Regal had his chance, and he kind of screwed it up. But William Regal's still that great. He's definitely gonna be a future Hall of Famer down the line. But I believe that he could have possibly become a world champion at one point or another. My next guy is